Property taxes, whether we like them or not, they play a huge role in shaping our communities. But here in Spokane, Spokane Valley, and the city of Spokane, local governments are taking wildly different approaches to these taxes. From debates about public safety and staffing shortages to decisions about parks and schools, there's a lot to unpack here. In this video, we're diving into what's driving these decisions, the unique challenges each area is facing, and what it all means for you. I'm Haydn Halsted, your Spokane real estate resource, and if you love learning more about Spokane, be sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Let's get right into it. Let's start with Spokane County, where property taxes are seeing a slight increase for 2025, just about 1%. For the average homeowner, that's about $3 more per year. And while this may not seem like much, the implications are significant for this county. This increase marks a shift for Spokane County. In 2022 and 2023, the commissioners opted against raising property taxes, citing federal COVID relief funds that temporarily filled those budget gaps. But now that those funds are gone, the county is facing rising costs, stagnating revenues, and growing demand for public safety. Commissioner Chris Jordan defended the increase, saying there's a big focus on efficiency in many different departments, but when you really get down to the sheriff's office, the prosecutor's office, and detention, those are a huge part of our general fund, and I'm not willing to sacrifice public safety in those areas. Jordan isn't alone in highlighting public safety. Sheriff John Knowles supported the increase, stating there is strong support for paying a little more tax if it's going to enhance public safety. But not everyone on the commission agreed. Commissioner Al French argued that the county should dip into reserve funds instead of raising taxes. These are the times when you use your rainy day funds to help your taxpayers, French said. He also cautioned that rising costs are squeezing local families, many of whom are already financially maxed out. This debate showcases a core tension, balancing fiscal responsibility with maintaining vital services like law enforcement and public safety. Meanwhile, Spokane Valley continues its streak of not raising property taxes for the 16th consecutive year. The city's levy rate will stay at 79 cents per $1,000 of assessed value, saving the average homeowner about $4 annually. While that sounds great for residents' wallets, it's creating significant challenges for the city. For one, Spokane Valley's budget growth isn't keeping pace with rising costs. Next year's expenditures are projected to grow 5 times faster than revenues, and this has left the city unable to meet goals like hiring more police officers, a goal that has long been prioritized. As Councilman Rod Higgins put it, we're running short and we're looking at other needs such as hiring additional police officers, so it really doesn't make a lot of sense that we don't take the tax increase. Deputy Mayor Tim Hattenberg also supported raising taxes, citing concerns that continued abstention could harm the city's ability to issue bonds in the future. But most council members remain committed to keeping low taxes, with some arguing that finding efficiencies and cutting costs is a better long-term strategy. And just interjecting my opinion here, just from running my own small business, I feel like you learn at some point that there's only so many costs that you can cut and revenue becomes your actual problem. And I just hope that some of these city council people will see that after a while. But the Spokane Valley's approach reflects a deep commitment to fiscal conservatism, but it also raises questions about how sustainable this model is in the face of growing demands for city services. Now, touching base on the city of Spokane, where property taxes are a hot topic right now. Earlier this year, the city council pulled a proposed property tax levy off of the ballot. If approved, this levy would have raised $38 million annually, costing the average homeowner about $377 a year. So why did city council pull it from the ballot? Well, Spokane is facing massive budget shortfalls and the stakes are really high. Without new revenue, the city would be forced to lay off as many as 150 employees, including police officers and firefighters. Councilwoman Kitty Klitsky summed it up bluntly: if your neighborhood is under-resourced and we don't do something to change revenue, it will get worse. But opponents like Councilmember Michael Cathcart argued that the city hadn't done enough to cut costs. The council needs to play a more active role in budgetary discussion, Cathcart said, emphasizing the need for accountability before turning to taxpayers. Financial strain comes largely from union contracts that locked in significant compensation increases for city employees and the expiration of federal pandemic relief funds. While the levy supporters see it as a necessary step to maintain essential services, critics worry it could place an unfair burden on residents who are already struggling with rising costs. And on top of that, in Spokane's park board is also grappling with tax-related decisions. A proposed parks levy, originally scheduled for February of 2024, has now been delayed 3 times. This levy would raise $225 million over 20 years to fund new parks, playgrounds, and system-wide improvements. So why the delays here? Well, the park board hopes to partner with the Spokane Public Schools on a coordinated campaign, believing that a joint effort could make both proposals more appealing to voters. As Parks Director Garrett Jones explained, when we look at the possible investments from going together versus going alone, the park board feels like that's a risk they're willing to take. But some, like Councilman Michael Cathcart, worry that delaying too long could backfire. The longer the wait, the more crowded the ballot becomes, with competing tax initiatives, potentially confusing voters and reducing support for the levy. It's anticipated in around 2027 that we'll be voting again on a new jail, and he's worried that there will be too many tax things on one ballot, basically overwhelming all voters and probably just saying no to all of it. So here's the bottom line. Each area in Spokane County is tackling property tax differently, reflecting unique priorities and challenges. Spokane County is cautiously raising taxes to fund public safety and address budget gaps. Spokane Valley is holding the line, prioritizing fiscal conservatism despite rising costs. The Spokane City is grappling with tough decisions about whether to raise taxes or cut essential services. These choices highlight the complexity of balancing public needs with fiscal responsibility. Also, I feel like highlights the difference between the voters in each of those cities if you are deciding on which area of Spokane you are trying to live. And for you residents that already live here, this serves as a reminder of the vital role that our local government plays in shaping our community, the importance of staying engaged, actually voting, having your voice heard on what you want for your community. So what do you think? Should local governments prioritize raising taxes to fund services, or should they focus on cutting costs and finding efficiencies? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear from you and have a conversation down in the comment section. And if you're curious how these decisions might impact your property taxes or the Spokane real estate market, feel free to reach out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check the description for my relocation guide and other helpful resources. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.